the Learn Genetics website. Just want to review things one more time. DNA is a double-stranded double helix, right? It's kind of this twisted ladder shape. It's made up of a sugar-phosphate backbone and different nitrogen bases. Our nitrogen bases are A and T, adenine and thymine paired together. G and C, guanine and cytosine, which pair together. And in a DNA molecule, those would be held together by a hydrogen bond. When you change the code of those A's, T's, G's, and C's, you get different genes, and genes code for proteins, which is what gives you and me our structure and our function. Mutations to those genes would cause changes in the structure and function of those proteins, which might result in something different. Different hair color, different eye color, or even a mutated and poorly functioning red blood cell, as we saw in our previous slides. So let's go to tour the basics of genetics again. And this is our last one here. We're going to go to what is a chromosome. Excuse me, let's get this guy running again here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, there we go. So, a chromosome is basically a just condensed form of a DNA molecule. If you were to take all the DNA in a single human cell and stretch it out, it would be about 3 meters long, or as long as a single car. And so in order to get all of that genetic information into a nucleus of a cell, we have to be able to condense it and package it in a different way. That condensed and packaged form is what is called a chromosome. So it's going to show you how this double helix is wrapped up. And so what it does is it gets packaged around these proteins, which are called histone proteins. And so you can imagine just taking a string and wrapping it around your finger. Your finger would be that protein. And we can take this big long string and we can really condense it down into a small space, small enough that it might be able to fit into the nucleus of a cell. And so we get this wrapping around our around these proteins. And again, DNA gets tightly condensed and it gets packaged into what we know as a chromosome. Again, humans have 46 chromosomes. We get 23 from our mom and we get 23 from our dad. And so this is what that would look like. You have 1 or 2 copies of each chromosome. So this one might be from mom, from dad, from mom, from dad, from mom, and from dad, and so on and so forth. You have 22 of what are called somatic chromosomes. These are the chromosomes that code for all of the proteins that make up your body, that make up your hair color, your eye color, your skin texture, all of those things. And then you have one set of chromosomes called your sex chromosomes, your X and your Y. That's what determines your sex. If you are a female, you are XX. If you are a male, you are X and Y. So again, humans have 46 chromosomes, or 23 pairs. Now, as you can imagine, this isn't the same for all living things because we all have different genetic codes. In a mosquito, you're only going to find 6 total chromosomes, or 3 pairs. In an onion, you're going to find 8 pairs, or 16 total chromosomes. And in a carp, you're going to find 104 chromosomes, or 52 pairs. That doesn't mean that a carp is more complex than a human. It just means that the genes that code for the different proteins that make up a carp are divided in different ways. And so, again, chromosomes are condensed, packaged forms of DNA, and they're wrapped around these proteins so that the DNA can be packaged into a small unit called a chromosome, which can then fit into a nucleus. If it wasn't in that way, then we would be able to stretch that DNA out, and it'd be about 3 meters in length. So imagine that, and now you know why DNA must be packaged into this unit that we call a chromosome.